Let's take a look at the basic structure of a C# program. Now I've gone and fired up the C# Express development tool. I'm going to create a new project by clicking the New Project link here on the left-hand side, and the New Project dialog comes up. Throughout this course, we're going to be using console applications to build our examples because they are one of the simplest applications to create, and they allow us to focus on just the C# language without having to worry about all the user interface related code that other projects require. I'm going to select the console application option and I'm going to give it a name. I will just call this one Structure C#, and I'm going to click OK. At this point, C# Express will create a new project and open it for me, and it will drop me in the editor into a file called program.cs. C# code is stored in files that have the .cs file extension, and right now we only have one of these, but your application can use as many of these files as you like, and in fact, as you build your programs, you'll probably create many different .cs files to group related classes and pieces of your code together, rather than just type thousands of lines into one file. So for now, we've only got one, so let's go through this file line by line. Right at the top here, we have a bunch of using statements. These statements tell the C# compiler which pieces of the .NET framework that my project will be using. And they allow me to write my code using a bit of a shorthand notation that we'll see more of in a few minutes. Now, if you're familiar with other languages like, say, Java or C or C++, these using statements are sort of analogous to things like import statements or include statements and so on. But in C# we use the using statement to indicate which pieces of the .NET namespaces I'm using in my program. The next line down is the namespace declaration for this project, and that's here on line 6. Now, I mentioned earlier that C# uses something called namespaces to organize code into related groups or modules, and your program is no different. Namespaces are basically just an organizational tool. They keep related code together, and they prevent certain kinds of problems. Now, for example, if your program were to define a class that has the same name as a class in some other .NET library, either from Microsoft or some other third party, your program's namespace would keep those two classes from colliding with each other and causing a whole bunch of compile problems. Now, the C# editor creates the namespace for you when you create your project, and it defaults to the name of the project, and we're just going to leave this as it is for now. Next, we have something called a class.